And I have to blame a lot of black men, calling every black woman a queen. This nonsense. Get your ass in that kitchen. Shut your mouth. I don't want to. You're bothering me right now. I don't play video games, but I'm playing the video game. Leave me alone. I need my time. See, a lot of times the Negro woman brings disorder to the black man. A lot of black men are just chilled by nature. Hey,
But
I'm
you're
just
not
chilling.
even answering the question. I'm sorry. You're talking about black
Let
women.
it. We'll,
I
we'll
knew
give
that
an
this would
opportunity to
start
speak,
automatically.
and then we
I
will
knew that this would
speak.
And
start
I'm just
the
saying, like,
cutting off
Go
the black man.
yeah,
chaotic.
you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
I will.
Go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna go on mute. I knew this would happen.
Let
You
me.
know what? Hold on a second.
Go ahead and finish.
My apologies for existing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on mute.
What do you think the biggest problem with um amongst us today, like the unity part, like women, black men bringing us together? Because we can't do better if we're not together. The foundation isn't there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody can go first.
Okay. I think the biggest problem, the answer is unity. Like, I don't think as black people, like as a unit, there is no unity. Everybody's just like, everybody's all for themselves. Everybody wants to do their own thing. There's no sacrifice to do things as a unit to get somewhere. Like, we fight each other over stupid things like Jordans and like just things that have, I feel like don't really have much value. So I feel like our biggest issue is no unity. Like, we don't work together very well. We're very like, we just want to do things individually. So I think if we had some unity going and, you know, we stop trying to compete against each other and try to work better with each other, we would be a lot more like, we'd be a lot further than we currently are as a unit.
I totally agree. And also to add on to that, I don't think we have a mutual respect for one another. We can't have that unity if we don't value each other's lives. So I think we sometimes go outward and say, oh, you need to treat Black people right, but we don't even treat our fellow brethren right. So if we don't value ourselves, how can we see people to value us? So I think that respect for one another needs to get better.
I think so individualism and materialism definitely takes its toll because we don't see each other as connected. Like you should look at your brother and see them as your brother, and your sister as your sister, and not want to see physical harm go to them, right? Also, culturally, we don't have a positive trend in culture as far as cultural norms and how we treat one another. And conflict resolution needs to be taught at every level of our lives, so we understand how to de-escalate something, and because most of the conflicts that occur come from misunderstandings and a misinterpretation or lack thereof of respect. So
You guys think that there's like a jealousy component there? Do you think there were some jealous people of, you know, do you think Black people are just jealous people of each
I,
other?
I, wait a minute.
Oh, you were trying to go first?
I
Are
was
you
trying
trying
to
to?
answer the first question. I thought,
Well, no, that's just
yeah.
me saying it's that we're
Oh,
still in the same question. But go ahead.
oh. Well, sorry to cut you off, but I say this time and time again: the Negro woman in America is quite a fascinating anomaly. Your mouth, not you guys on the panel. I'm pretty sure you guys are, and you guys are probably don't represent what I'm talking about, but your mouth, your behavior. A lot of Negro women want to be black men. The smoking weed, the drinking of the liquor, the cursing, the foul mouth. I could understand a teenager behaving this way. I saw it while I was teaching. Saw it with white girls, white kids, and black, etc. Didn't see it with Asian, however, or Jewish. Just want to point that out. But after a certain um, point in your life as a woman, you should grow out of this poor pattern of behavior. See, men, we can act like this. Is it good? No, it's not. But generally, the disconnect comes with women trying to compete with men, the back talking, the lack of domestication. And I have to blame a lot of black men, calling every black woman a queen. This nonsense. Get your ass in that kitchen. Shut your mouth. I don't want to. You're bothering me right now. I don't play video games, but I'm playing the video game. Leave me alone. I need my time. See, a lot of times the Negro woman brings disorder to the black man. A lot of black men are just chilled by nature. Hey,
But
I'm
you're
just
not
chilling.
even answering the question. I'm sorry. You talking about black
Let,
women?
let it, let it, let it.
I
We'll
knew
give him
that this would
opportunity to
start
speak,
automatically.
and then we
I
will
knew that this would
speak.
start.
I'm just
The
saying, like,
cutting off
Go,
the black
chaotic.
man.
got it. You're right. You're right. Go ahead. My bad.
You know what? I'm gonna go on mute. I knew this would happen.
Let
You
me.
know what? Hold on a second.
Go ahead and finish.
My apologies for existing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on mute. Sorry.
Chaotic,
If,
finish.
if I
Finish.
may finish, I'm answering the question because the last time my dear sorority sister asked, "What is the problem in the community between men and women?" and I'm trying to tell you, it is largely due to women. The dressing filthy, the behaving filthy. If you change your behavior, the black man will have no other choice but to change his behavior. But if you're behaving like a whore, then the overall society will become a whoredom. Because men, a lot of us don't have self respect. A lot of us don't have the intuitive drive to control ourselves. I do. I do because I'm obviously a superior black. But if a black woman was divine, then the black man will have no other choice but to treat a black woman in a divine manner. And I digress. Curves, you cut me off. What do you want? Obviously,
I want to
my
say.
talking bothered you. So go ahead, ask me your question. Go ahead.
Let me say. Can I? Okay. So it's just the way you say it that is just hilarious to
How do
me.
you want me to say it? Do
But
you want me to
but
tickle
what
you
I want
guys?
to say,
Go ahead.
what I would like to say is I do agree with much like I'm one to agree with a lot of the things that you have said. I do think that women need to be more ladylike. I do think that there are things that you just do not do. This I'm just telling you. You're not supposed to do as a lady in public. Now, I don't drink, I don't agree with the alcohol because I drink some tequila, but fancy like. But but I do agree that the attitudes have gotten a little out of control. I do agree that cussing every 5 minutes, especially in public, loud, even the way we dress, all of those things are of concern. They do need to be looked at, and they need to be, I do think that that's an issue that we as women, we need to come together and just do a better job. So I do agree with that.
And I agree with a lot of what Chaotic said. You weren't wrong. My issue with what he was saying was I feel like he was trying to make it about black women as to why we don't have a certain level of unity. He was pointing the finger more so of the just talking in general, like about us as a unit. And you're like, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, I don't get your angle with that. But you know what I mean? That's okay. You weren't wrong about everything.
Well, I was going to say, just in terms of my input, so the behaviors that Chaotic was referring to, I agree with him that women shouldn't behave like that. But if we're talking about society as a whole, then I think that those same behavior isn't a good reflection on the men in the community either. So, like when we're looking at things that are going to be beneficial, drinking, whether you're a woman or a man, is just not beneficial, especially when you're drinking to get drunk. Smoking, when we're talking about health, Black people are at risk for so many health issues. So all of the things that he's talking about in regards to the drinking and the smoking and that kind of stuff, neither one of us need to be doing that if the goal is to be at a higher level of, be one of the superior Negroes that he was talking about. The other thing is that he talked about the way that women look, but typically women, if you look at any society, are a reflection of the men. So if we out of order and look a hot mess, then more than likely when you look at the men, you're going to see the same behaviors that, you know, that lead to the bad behaviors, because typically in most societies, the men are the head. So if the men are out of order, a lot of times the women are out of order too.
I don't blame the men for I mean, I don't think that men
I'll
have
tell you this. It's about what, and this is how. So he made the comment about um one of the problems is Black men calling women queens, right? But what I find crazy is that that word is being chosen to say that's when we messed up by calling all Black women queens. But now is it more appropriate to be calling all Black women hoes, 304s, or even calling your fellow man niggas? So all of those words are acceptable. You know what I'm saying? So if we're going to call somebody out a name, I'd rather be called a queen, whether you think I want to not, or instead of being called a hoe or a bitch. You know what I'm saying? When I'm neither one of those either. So when we're using derogatory terms, that is a reflection, like I said, of men. And then guess what? We behave as such. So that's
Ali and Marcus, and then Chanel, because I know you guys didn't get an opportunity to speak on the question.
Can you the question was how we can improve our community? Is that what the question was? I want to make sure. Can y'all hear me?
So basically, what do you think the issue is? So it's because we're not working as a unit right now. What do you think the biggest issue is for us that's making us become so divisive amongst each other, Black men and Black women?
Well, first we have to be able to tell each other the truth without talking down on each other, cutting each other off, or disrespecting each other. And then we have to acknowledge each other's duty to each other as well too. And I mean, this conversation is almost played out, right? But every time we come back to this conversation, I see a lot of brothers like Chaotic, like Marcus, ready and prepared to do their duty to their community, to their families, to the women, to the men. And women say no. Like, I want to do what I want to do. That's a lot, primarily a lot of big reasons of what's going on with our families, where the man, we panel after panel after panel, we'll ask the men, what's your responsibility? Say, my responsibility to the community and my family. And when you ask the women what their responsibility is what to do whatever I want to do. Now, do I think it's solely our fault we're in these positions? No, I certain things I know Chaotic may not agree with. There's a historical reason to why we're off track. But the problem I'm finding is that if both the Black man and the Black woman are now coming from single parent homes, the Black man is saying, okay, let me pull my pants up, let me be a man. And the Black woman is still saying, hey, but I went through this. I refuse to connect to what I need to connect to. I refuse to go talk to the matriarch. I refuse to go talk to that Black woman that keeps the family together. And I'm gonna do what I want to do. I mean, that's what I see. All of us that's on this panel, I'm familiar with. If we can't tell the truth to each other, there's no hope.